We'll open the meeting at 10 minutes past 5. We got to review the minutes from last meeting. Has everybody had a chance to read them?
Yeah,
Anybody have any changes?
I have one short one I gave to Kerry by email this morning. Did you get that, Kerry?
I did. I made the change. I sent it back this afternoon with the change.
All right. Now I'll make a motion to accept.
All right. Oh, you want
I'll
to
second it.
All right. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
I guess that's all we have for new business. We got a lot of old business.
586 Manley is under new business.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Review. Oh, let's see the minutes here. Okay. 586 Manley Street then. What's the discussion on 586 Manley Street, Wayne?
Well, somebody had a concern, so I did go by and I had spoke with the building inspector, and the guy really hasn't gotten very far. The lot that he was selling in the barn, that's still as he had said. I don't think anything's sold yet. So the building inspector is aware, and he'll keep me, abreast of what the guy's doing. But I'll probably send him a letter just to remind him that he's got to notify us before he ties in. Before he ties in, he's got to cut the barn off, and that by now he should have already cut the barn off from what we, our past talks with him, and that'll just keep reminding him that we exist.
Okay. Yeah, that was me who went by. I thought the sign said it was sold or under agreement or something when I went
If
by.
it is, it's still what he had said he was gonna do, that he planned on building another, like a storage thing, or, like a multi-bay building in the back that was gonna require sprinklers. But his building in the front might also require sprinklers, according to the building inspector. That's yet to be determined.
Okay. All right. Well, he isn't going ahead with something that we don't know about then.
No.
Okay. Anybody else got any comments or anything about that?
Nope.
Okay. The Hayfield contract. I think last time we were discussing, and then we got a drawing of the Hayfield.
Yeah, so the high school still wants to use it. But
yeah,
it kind of chops it up.
That drawing that you sent.
Yep.
Are those tracks that they're running?
They mow out that. I outlined the borders of the field, and then I drew in what they use as a track.
So they just don't pass through there. They used to just pass through there and go out to North Elm Street and continue on.
They said that path that they mow in is 1 kilometer long.
Okay, and so do they run 1 kilometer or do they run like?
Well, they run 1 kilometer. I don't know if they do it multiple times, but I know that that's 1 kilometer in length.
Okay, because years ago they used to come up the railroad tracks,
the
railroad line, cross over into the field, and then they used to just go up through our right of way and go out onto North Elm Street and keep going.
I think they try to vary where they run, because you'll see them running all over town, but I think they try to change it up so they run in different spots all the time. Since the hay really isn't worth much, if they mow down the field, keep the field mowed, might as well let them have the field, because they pretty much mow it out with that track.
Well, that's what I was just looking at. I'm like, how are you going to hay that with when you got all those tracks cut in it?
You can't.
And you can't let the rest of the hay grow up and catch on fire,
right?
Because that's why we want somebody to mow it, is to keep it from drying out. So why don't they take the whole field and keep it up, mow it, and then make you know, do something else there for their track, like put a line around there, paint a line, or do something like that, or put some stakes in or something. It would be better if they probably mowed it and kept it like a field, if they want to do that.
Right. I mean, if we don't, obviously, we're not gonna make any money on the field with hay if they're cutting that much down. If that's a 6 to 7 foot wide track running through the thing.
I never remember seeing anything like that being cut out of there.
Yeah, that goes back. So that's the 2018 flyover. So they were doing it then.
They've been doing it a long time, I think.
Yeah, they have. It goes back to Phyllis. So they've been doing it at least 6 years,
Okay.
maybe even longer.
What do you guys think about that?
Say, did you mention it to the school at all about them mowing the whole field? If they're willing to do it, it would take an aggravation.
How are they gonna mow the whole field though? If they don't have heavy equipment, you'd have to mow it. You'd have to mow it 5 times a year.
Yeah, but that's the problem is it's gotta get mowed or else it's.
We can have Billy go back to haying it like he was. He wasn't charging anything and letting them run the track, and he was haying it and getting what he could out of it. That's why I said before, I mean, for what it was, we were actually getting something for nothing.
I mean, I can ask them if they have equipment, but yeah, basically it's when they mow it down like that, I don't know. I'm not a
They're
farmer.
probably getting to it early enough that it's not tall. I can't imagine they've got something that's going to cut hay. I've never seen a bush hog over there.
They do have a good sized piece of equipment. I just don't know whether it has a mowing deck to go behind it. Because when they built the school, they bought there's a good sized tractor in storage there.
I saw a big Kubota over there blowing snow the other day. Is that the schools?
Yeah, that I couldn't tell you.
With a good sized tractor with a cab on it and everything. I would think they have a bush hog or something like that. I mean, and they gotta have a good sized mower to mow that track. That's a pretty long cut that they got there.
I can ask them. Nothing's going to be growing for a couple of months anyways.
All right, why don't you check with them and see what they want to do? They're using it quite a bit more than I ever imagined that they were using there.
Right.
And I don't see how anybody can hay that the way it is. All right, why don't you check into it? Is that what the rest of the board wants to do?
Yep.
All right, check it with the school and see what they're see if they want to take over the whole thing or something.
All right.
Update on the replacement well.
So all the contracts are signed. They're supposed to do a pre-construction meeting via Zoom sometime next week. But once he received that contract, he's under a time performance thing.
Okay. You said in those notes you sent over, you signed that we had the money.
Yeah, they wanted, so I had to have the town accountant sign it also.
Oh, I was going to say, usually the town accountant has to certify that the funds are available.
Yep,
So-
I ran it up to her. They wanted town council, but I says, listen, town council doesn't know what we do. They don't know what we have for funds, and they're up for hire lawyer. That's a necessary expense on us, and
Who wanted that?
that was Tatter and Howard, so they wiped that line off.
Okay, yeah, because usually they, I think we used to have the accountant and I think the Board of Water Commissioners used to sign it, but well, the most important was the accountant to certify that the funds were available.
Yep.
That was because nobody else really mattered. Okay. Anybody have anything else about that?
No.
Okay. Update on the water permit.
So we're just still waiting for the comment period to expire, and then they'll bring it back in and relook at it, and then they'll probably just sign us, that'll become our permit.
Okay. Are we getting cut back much?
From what we had, yeah. We talked about this a long time ago, but
I know.
they're not going to give us any more. They're chopping everybody back big time.
But are we gonna have enough so we're not in violation all the time?
So I looked at it, and yeah, we shouldn't have an issue because the daily average is done. It's done over the course of a year. It's not a daily, because what they listed for daily, we've never make, but they don't do it that way. They do it another way.
Yeah, because they're trying to get you cut back in the summertime and use more in the wintertime, which is impossible.
Right. Yeah. What am I? Not unless I get everybody to build skating rinks.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. How about an update on the new water source?
That hasn't moved anywhere. That's still waiting for the. I'm not going to have Tatter and Howard start charging us for paperwork when there's nothing they can really do until our permit gets signed.
Okay. Asset management, how's that coming?
So I gave them the data that they requested, or as much as I could find out. Then they came out and they surveyed the buildings and took down data on what assets were in it. I couldn't be with them that day, but they did tour all of the buildings because we've changed all of our radio antennas. That was one of our things that we paid for, one of our articles. So I had all of the antenna arrays upgraded.
What do you
But
guys
it's
have?
moving along.
Did they tell you when, like, next step? When we
No,
should
they haven't.
expect something from them?
Yeah, I haven't heard from them yet since they've been here.
Anybody else got any questions on the asset management?
No.
How about an update on the PFAS testing?
So I did the second round, but they wanted me to resample Manly. So I think I saw that come in the other day, but I'm not sure because it didn't look like it was official. But I ran I turned the variable frequency drive way down and ran it really slow. And it looked like it came back as a 16 instead of a 19, which I don't know why the PFAS would have been lower, but if that's the official reading, I'm still waiting to make sure. But we're through that now because of Manly being bumping up against the 20 limit. We're in their group to look at, but we're like on a lower tier. People that are 20 and above, they get into the top tier and get dealt with right away. We're in the middle because we're not under 10, we're above 10, but we're not above 20. So eventually they'll get to us and start working with us on how to deal with it.
Okay.
They said that they got flooded. They didn't expect as much as they did, and they're actually hiring more staff trying to keep up with it.
Great.
Great.
All they're making work for themselves.
Yeah.
Well, Wayne, might be worth mentioning to Tater and Howard when it gets down, if you get a little further down as far as the new water source. Because right now with Manley Street, we've got a tough thing to make a case, especially to put a source down where it's already stressed. But
Right.
maybe if that PFAS is all that high, if we're going to get hit with having to treat for it, maybe Tater and Howard can use that, an economic bit for that to say, look, why are we going to treat that when we've got the cleaner water over here? Because the other sources are way below 10, right? None of them are even close.
Yeah, they're all like, I think 6 was the highest that I remember seeing, and I think it was Station 1. It was either Station 1 or Station 2. But yeah, they were all under 10, so they don't even look at that.
So the only one we had high was Manley Street, Wayne?
Yes.
Okay.
And
And above 10 requires action?
Yeah.
and you're taking it from the raw water, not through the filters, right?
So they take it from the raw and they take it from the filters.
Was there a difference?
Coming back the same?
Yeah, the filters were actually higher. So I don't know whether it's stacking up in there, and that's why that came back higher.
I bet you it's getting trapped in those filters.
It could, but we're scouring on a regular basis now, trying to make sure that the system stays working correctly.
So do you think, did you see it go down? Well, you said you saw it go down to 16. Was that on the
I'm
raw?
pretty
or-
sure it went to, when I slowed the pump way down, that I believe the PFAS, but it didn't have an official reading. Usually it says an official reading and it didn't have that. But it looked like it had dropped down, but it's still above 10, which is an action level.
Yeah. Be nice if we could get it down below the 10. That's the only
Yeah.
one we got. Anybody got anything else on that? Okay. Update on your laborer's position. You were gonna work on your description.
I came right out of the gate, but it stalled somewhere else. I don't know if Art wants to speak to it or.
You know, if you want, I will, because you sent something to Linda right away, and she sent it to me, but the problem, I don't know how you get a different response by changing the position from laborer to maintenance worker. You're still gonna get every cook and dishwasher and prison guard and everything else responding to it. I mean, Bryce, so I looked up the Bridgewater ad that they put on the town and on the MMA, and they did a 8-10 bullet list item of what the scope was, and they were calling it a sewer plant mechanic.
Right.
And if you can come up with something like that for the water department position, I mean, it'd make more sense. But if all it advertises for is a maintenance worker, we're gonna get 400 instead of 200.
I just know when you look for a laborer, well, then you're getting everybody, because it's the general thought on a laborer is you're nothing. You're a laborer. You're just you're a grunt. I'm trying to change it and see if we can't find the other people that I want.
Could you
I
call
mean,
it-
all you can do is keep trying, or you just give up and you hire a grunt, and that's it.
Well, if we don't change the ad enough, though, we're not gonna, I mean, call it something like a plant maintenance mechanic. I mean, maintenance worker, when you see that, you think somebody with a broom. Everybody in, it's not gonna get you better than labor, is the problem.
Yeah,
Wait, I
Yeah.
saw a job posting come to over my computer the other day for a town that had plant operator with license, I don't know, grade 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Did you see that one?
I go out and look every now and then, but I do look, and I've only seen once where somebody was actually called a laborer. You're letting David run so with the unions, that's a 3-year contract. Right near, they're almost all the way through their first year without signing the contract. Once that contract gets signed, there's nothing you can do to any title for the next 2 years until that contract opens up for review again.
So why don't we plant operator laborer? See if the union can put that in there so we can get pay up there, so we can attract somebody that does something else other than labor.
Well, I was trying to advertise it as a maintenance person, but when I started interviewing, they'd be told that the actual job title is laborer. But I'm trying to get somebody better than by making it look like we're looking for something better than a grunt. But it got held up, and so it's still
again,
held.
I don't know where you come up with the term maintenance worker being that much better than laborer. If you put it in, maintenance mechanic, plant maintenance work, something. I mean, maintenance worker is, you're going to have people with custodian jobs and everything else.
That's what I was thinking. Sound
Well,
more
we
like a
don't need to
custodian
Go
position.
through that again.
So if somebody has a better idea, have at it. I'm not going to stand in the way. I'll wash my hands of it right here and now, and you 3 guys can pick somebody out and send them to for an interview, and that'll be that. I don't really care. I don't have anybody that I want to hire. I dread hiring somebody new because there is bad and there is good, and usually there's more bad than there's good. So
Why don't can we advertise it as a plant operator?
we can advertise it as whatever we want.
I mean,
That's
what
not,
you,
I'm not looking for somebody to just stand there and watch water run through a sand filter. I'm looking
no,
for
but
somebody
usually
that
a
knows
plant
how to take.
operator can work on instrumentation. I mean, a plant operator has to be able to work on instrumentation, computerization of a plant. If they can't, there's something wrong with them as a plant operator.
Like I said, I'm not here to argue with anybody. If somebody has a better idea, we'll go that way. I tried my way. It got held up. So, all right, somebody doesn't want that to happen, then find me another way and we'll advertise it again and we'll get a whole new crop of people.
Who held it up?
Mostly me, because I saw a maintenance worker and I said, why are we gonna advertise for a maintenance worker? Because we're gonna get worse than we got on the last one. I mean,
But
that's all you told Linda was maintenance worker, and here's the Bridgewater ad. I mean, she sent me what you forwarded to her. It's not like, she's looking at it like, why, if we're not getting people with what we just put out, and I don't care, we don't want to call it laborer. We don't call it laborer, okay? Come up with something and a list of things that maybe you'll weed some of the people out. Because otherwise, the same stupid automatic responses are going to come back to us we just got.
Maintenance worker sounds like a janitor to me.
Yeah.
But in that ad, I also had that you must respond with a cover letter only that said how your skill set applies to this job. And it specifically lists mechanical, electrical, instrumentation, PLCs. It listed all those items. Other than that, Linda can take them and throw them out. If they don't meet the grade, then just toss them out. I'm not looking for cooks and correction officials again and all of that other stuff.
I'm not sure that the requirement for a cover letter might not have been in the thing she sent me. I'm trying to look now.
All right, it was in the one she got. It was there.
Because like I said, I don't remember seeing that in what she forwarded to me. Is this it? Nope.
Why she's in the middle of it. She truly has no HR experience. She's mucking around. I don't.
Yeah, all she did is she forwarded me the email from you that has like a screenshot of that sewer plant mechanic ad.
Yeah, that's not the ad.
No, I know, because I went on the website and I found the ad, but it doesn't say anything about company cover letters and stuff. It just says, I'd like to see the title be maintenance worker. I do not want to show the company name. And for our internal posting, you can use whatever you want. It doesn't, what she sent forward to me doesn't say anything about.
Yeah, so she left out a crucial step. That's our HR person.
Well, like I said, all I see can go by is what was forwarded.
I mean, I don't have it at home with me. I mean, I can forward it out tomorrow and.
Yeah.
But it was very specific in what it said, that when you apply, you must cover letter only. I didn't want resumes. I wanted nothing but a cover letter telling me how your skill set applied to the skills listed above.
And did you give her something to list the skills above, or were you just looking?
Yes, no, I gave her the whole ad.
So take the ad out from what's in the Bridgewater ad and use that skill set.
No, I didn't. I just gave her a screenshot of that to say, this is what they look like when they post theirs. I don't know what ours looks like because I never saw the last one. I'm trying. That's all I can do is try. If somebody has a better avenue to it, have at it.
Well, I think you should ask for a more on the plant operator, somebody. There's most plant operators know how to work on equipment, They know how to work on the instrumentation. Oh, where'd you go?
Yeah, it would be, well, I mean, I can put it, but we're not going to steal anybody from another town because we don't pay enough.
How much are we off?
It depends upon the plant. The plant down in Falmouth was 6 figures to start. I almost put my name in for that one. I'd love to watch water trickle through a sand filter, and it's at 6 figures. It's not a sand filter, but it wasn't like that. Depends on the complexity of the plant.
I know there's a shortage of plant operators, but if we're going to advertise for somebody like that, we need to be in the ballpark of what other towns are paying or be up there so we can attract somebody.
Right. I budgeted for a level
license and experience.
Right.
Otherwise,
I budgeted for the top level laborer pay level, and I'm continuing that through into next year on the next budget. So that's all I mean, I can't create money out of nothing until, as long as they're tied to the other guys who truly are laborers, there's nothing we can do.
So did you already put that budget in?
Not yet, because
Okay.
I need to show you first, and I don't have the town side of it or anything.
So are the guys negotiating right now with the town?
He hasn't met with them at all.
Gagney hasn't met with them at all, and they
No.
got a contract that has
It's expired.
expired.
Yeah.
So maybe you could ask David Gagney about creating another position there so we can get the pay up a little bit for this position, so we can attract somebody that's got the skills to run the plant.
Looking at for a number, Wayne. You think?
Wayne, can you come up with a figure for the other towns are paying? So we're in the
I mean,
ballpark.
I think it depends upon what company that you look at. Our pay might be in the range. It's just until I can put a job posting out there, I can't see what comes back. Most people won't move. Once you're in a town, you lose your sick time, you lose your vacation time, you lose everything. Most towns will honor and if not exceed benefits. I don't know if we have that availability to do that here.
Well,
if I went to another town, I was offered matching my sick time, matching all my vacation time, so I didn't lose anything.
right. So we should look into being able to do that if we get somebody that is qualified and it's somebody that we want. They're not going to come over here and go from 5 weeks vacation down to 2 weeks vacation, and they're not going to start over on everything to make another 50 cents an hour.
Right.
That just that's ridiculous. They're not going to do it. You got to make it worthwhile. And I don't know. We got to talk. Maybe you could talk to David Gagney and see if there's something that when we're negotiating with somebody, if we really like them, that we could do that. I mean, they did it when they hired David Gagney. He got a lot more vacation. He didn't start out with 2 weeks vacation. He started out with 4 or 5 weeks vacation. So the selectmen get to do it, but we don't get to do it.
Well, if we hired somebody as a non-union employee, set up a non-union position to fill what you want to fill, we can make that whatever we want, I'm pretty sure, when we bring people in. You offer the job and you offer it with a certain benefit package.
But do you think that the union's going to complain because you gave a union position with,
They probably will complain, but I mean, it's, what Wayne's saying is it's not a laborer's position. Maybe it shouldn't be coming in with that union position. It should be coming out separate. Because otherwise, you're going to be stuck with whatever the union contract is.
okay.
First, we got to find somebody.
You got any thoughts here, Tom?
Well,
No. I'd look at some other towns, see what they're paying that kind of help. I'm just surprised we can't find a decent laborer slash plant operator slash maintenance guy. I mean, what's it work out to, Wayne? Starting pay? Like 60 grand?
No, it's, I did the calculate. I want to say it's somewhere between like 42 and maybe 52. That's
So
their,
the only thing I want to get at that
that's
is
their range.
an entry level guy that's good and train him and hope he likes the position and work him up from there in the union. But I'm surprised we're not getting any young guys that want a town job, want to get out of the private sector. And
Right. And that last batch, there wasn't anybody.
I don't know. Have you talked to any other superintendents, Wayne, how they're finding help? About how they're finding help?
Well, I know Bridgewater, I think they advertised for almost 3 years, and they actually hired people and let people go in the meantime.
No,
because it
so
didn't work out.
they hired somebody and it was a younger kid. He learned the ropes. I think it only took him 6 months and he advanced. He moved to a different town and he took somebody from there with him. Actually, I think it's Milton, but I know that plant operator, that's been up there for at least 2, not maybe 3 years.
Yeah.
Not, they're all having the same
They have
issues.
They have a couple openings over there too, don't they, Kerry?
They've had a couple openings for quite some time.
Yeah. I think everybody's got the same problem. They said when I was getting near retirement, there was a whole group of us that were like Kerry's father, myself. There was a lot of us that were near retirement age, and they were trying to figure out where all the people with experience were going to come from, because there wasn't enough people in the field to fill all the positions when all of us retired, and we all retired, and now there's a
Well, my dad retired and he's been working full time for Bridgewater since COVID started because they have nobody with licenses and they don't have enough people. He's still in the hole. He's still going to water leaks, at night and stuff. He's 67 years old. So.
Oh, and they're making the licensing requirements harder.
A lot
Tougher to
harder.
get. And, you need to pay more, but then you're stuck with what you can budget to pay because you got to pay for it out of your revenue. So, kind of.
And our problem is we're a small town. That kills us.
Right.
Compared to Bridgewater and East Bridgewater. I mean, with 7,000 people, Bridgewater's 24,000 people. It makes it a lot harder.
It does.
And we have to do everything this state wants, just like, meet all the state requirements, just like every other town. With way less customers.
all right. Well,
This is something that trade schools should pick up is
I tried every trade school. The only one I haven't reached out to is the Taunton one. None of them are set up with job boards or anything to help their students move forward.
No.
That's sad.
I've tried Southeastern even. I couldn't get guys out of there even. I mean,
Yep.
I don't know. But I mean, instead of these Aggie schools and all this, there should be more programs for water treatment, whether it's sewer or drinking water. But
all right. Well, do what you can, Wayne, and see if you can. Art, if you get a chance, why don't you talk to David Gagney? Tell him what our issues are here. Explain it to him.
Yep, we'll give it a shot.
All right.
did we ever contact any of the others? I picked out 2. I think Art picked out 2. Did we ever even?
No, Wayne said he didn't have any he was interested in hiring. So if we're not going to hire him, there's no point bringing
Well, I
him in
mean,
to interview.
sometimes see him in person is a little different, maybe, to talk to him, but.
I mean, none of them checked all the boxes. Like,
None of them checked. I
mean,
mean, sometimes you got to turn them into what you need, but I didn't know if it was worth even looking at any of them. But I looked through every one of them. I picked out 2, and they weren't great. But
no, like I said, I picked out 6 that were but maybe you could, and actually the best one was far away. You'd have to convince them to relocate
Right.
to do it. So, but if it's not, if there's no interest in making the hire at that point, why bring them in?
Yeah, too far away is not going to work. It's not going to work.
All right, so why don't you try that?
Yeah, I'll talk to Gagny about trying to figure out a way to do a different position and get somebody in that might work out better. In the meantime, try to think of a different way to, some name that would maybe get some better people answering the ad. But we said, if you advertise for operators, they're gonna look at what we're paying and they're gonna say, forget it. But they're looking for somebody with licenses and everything else.
Yeah, well, they got to have licenses, so. Next thing on the agenda is discussion on the main office generator. Wayne, it sounds like you, in your notes here, you got a better price?
Yeah, I remember.
The generator.
Yeah, they run it for about 4 hours, testing it at various loads.
Okay. And it's been running okay, right?
I mean, it starts and runs okay. It's just when I was there and it was running station 4 under load, and I've seen it in the past, you can see the amps, everything swinging around. It's not steady state.
Okay.
All right, and you got anything there, Art?
Nope.
Okay. Next thing, so you're gonna go ahead with that, right, Wayne?
Yep.
Okay. Walnut Street tank, how's that coming?
So I sent it back to them, and they're supposed to get back to me because the tank's offline. They can't do any of the tests they wanted to do anyways, and we already know what's going on. So I sent that back to them, and they said that they'd get back to me. I bought all the supplies to tap the hydrant in, and we're ready to go on that front. And I've spoken with the owners association because it's hung up. Mr. Fox isn't doing what he's supposed to do to turn it over to the town. So the owners association doesn't own it. Everything I'm going to do is on our property. And I let, the owners association know what I was going to do, why I'm doing it, and that it's staying on our property will affect nothing of theirs except put in a nice new shiny hydrant. So they're okay with that currently.
Who? Fox?
The owners association. Fox doesn't matter. I don't want to get involved with him. He wasn't very good in the beginning, and I can't.
So what you said, the homeowners association, they were fine with it?
Yeah.
So where are you doing that, Wayne? Over to the new subdivision, are you?
Yeah, because there's a set of storm drains right there on their roadway. So I can tap us off near the street and run us around our property and get us over by it so that so I can flush the tank out that way.
Okay, and where's that gonna run to?
So it runs into the drainage system that they created for the farms.
There's a catch basin right there, isn't there, Wayne?
Yeah, there are 2 of them.
Yeah, and that goes to the back of the project, does it, down toward the pond?
Yes, it does.
Okay, that's good. At least it's not going across the street the other way.
No, we couldn't reach that anymore. It's on the other side of the road.
Okay. All right, any other discussion on that one?
Any idea when you'll be putting the hydrant in?
I've got all the stock. We had to remove a couple of old services for the dentist office that's going in because they were flare fittings, and when they were cut free, they were leaking at that point. So that's what we've been doing the past couple of days. So we just
What was leaking?
that.
At the curb stop, Wayne?
Yeah, well, at the corporation. Well, we removed it all the way back to the corporation, but yeah, it was leaking at the curb stop. And I know I've seen the plans. He wants a 2-inch water service, so he's not going to reuse any of them services.
So you went out to the main?
Yeah, we took it back because the main's up in the sidewalk, so we didn't have to
it's
go
right
into the
there?
road. Yeah.
Oh, good. That's nice. So you undid it at the just left the corporations in, obviously.
Yep.
Shut them off.
Yes. and
Would they
captain.
turn off after being in there that long?
Oh, yeah. Sometimes they require a little effort, but they turn.
And they turned off and didn't leak?
Yep.
Did you put caps on them?
Yes, we did.
Good. And sometimes they'll start to leak later on,
Yeah.
years from now, but what we used to do too is sometimes we'd shut the main off and
Plug them?
leave the pressure and then take the core completely out and put the plug in. Because and then when a contractor or the gas company or somebody goes along, they don't clip it and
Yeah.
take it off someday, just cap it off. Discussion commitment. Kerry, you got something on that? Or Wayne?
No, we're about to do the final. We're going to do the readings tomorrow for the billing. So that's coming along. We're just waiting on it.
Okay. And how about the apartment at 477 West Center Street?
Well, they want to
what's
do
new
a
on that?
flow test tomorrow. I'm a little worried about that because the temperatures at night are below freezing, and they want to flow the one right across from the Shell station. I'm like, it's scheduled for tomorrow, but we'll see.
Play it by ear because we don't want to be responsible for any accidents.
No, I don't.
It'll fall on our insurance.
I actually rescheduled that. It's not for tomorrow. When I
All
talked
right.
to him today, he's fine with it.
When is it for now? When did it get rescheduled to?
I told him that Wayne wanted to talk to Rick at the meeting tonight,
Yeah,
and then I would call him back tomorrow morning.
I
He
mean,
was very understandable.
Yeah, because I've told them previously, if it's that bad, you're gonna have to go tonight. You're gonna be paying for 3 guys. You're gonna pay for a sander. You're gonna pay for a detail cop. Gets very expensive. So I don't think they're in any hurry. But where the nighttime temperatures are getting colder now, so we have a solid frost. I'm worried that road's gonna turn into a skating rink, and I'm gonna wipe out a couple of billion cars.
There'll definitely be accidents there.
Yeah.
How about, Wayne, can you do it during the day if you get a day that's up in the 40s like we've had, 45?
Like today would have been, but now I've looked at the forward temperatures and it's getting colder now during the day. So we've kind of lost our window.
Okay, well, just play it by ear with them. Tell them that, if you see that we're going to have another break in the weather where it's going to be 40 or 50 degrees
Right.
for the whole afternoon, give him an advance notice, see if he can come out there on short notice, a day or two's notice, and do it like that,
Yep.
Because you don't want to do it at night. That's
No.
massive for trouble. So is that any more, Tom? You got any more on that apartment complex there? Or?
No. I don't know. They're still very, very preliminary.
Yeah, actually, Linda Simpson contacted me, was wondering if we were gonna have any written comments for that, as far as where issues with the water system, and it's not in the zone 2, so the only restrictions, stuff on floor drains and stuff for their parking, but that's nothing.
I think we ought to put together some type of note that we do have concerns about the water pressure that, it's got to be addressed. It's going to
Probably wait and see what the flow test is.
Yeah.
See what the flow test is, then we can comment better, maybe.
Yeah, just to let your board know that we have preliminary questions about how it's going to work, just so that they're not thinking that we're fine with everything.
Yeah. So maybe we'll wait till after the flow test.
Yeah.
All right. And then we'll do something in writing.
Okay.
Probably.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, just keep your board informed with what we're thinking. That's all.
Yeah. If we can, we'll do the flow test, and maybe as a board, we'll send a written comment and get it in the minutes, and then I can refer to it anytime it comes up.
Okay. Because I just don't want them to think that we're looking at it and don't have any issues. We're kind of just waiting to see how things turn out, you know?
I think there's a lot of other issues with it too, so.
Okay. Kerry, what's that? Anybody got anything else they can bring up at the meeting that they want to
I don't
discuss?
know if so I sent that thing out. So
I'm not
There's
sure
the
if
guy-
this is gonna shut off at 6 o'clock, if it's only a free hour.
oh,
I'm not sure.
all right.
I
So
got one thing. I don't have the agenda in front of me, but were we gonna talk about yellow water?
So really, we received 2 complaints on the weekend, and one was the couple lives, they abut Good Days. Not another single resident on that street, and I don't doubt the residents. They brought in the water, but there's no hydrant except when you get halfway down Bryant Street. So I'm flushing, but I'm flushing a long ways down the street. There's no hydrant near them to actually
Why are we
flush
getting,
out.
we're
So-
getting them and we're getting, Columbus Ave too?
So randomly, yeah, there's a resident up on Columbus Ave, one resident. You don't hear it from anybody else, and I don't doubt them. Once again, I don't doubt them, but it's one resident, nobody else. The same happens out on South Main Street. There's one resident out on South Main that gets it, but nobody else.
Why are we getting it, Wayne? What do you think it is?
I have no idea. We didn't have any disruptions to our system. We didn't change anything in our system. If anything, we actually flowed a lot less. When I looked at yesterday's flow rate, I think we produced 380,000 gallons of water for the day. So our flow rates are way down. So I don't know.
So we
if
still
maybe
have
the
yellow water though.
restaurant-
What do you think? What's it from?
Maybe
Why
the
are we getting,
restaurant
why are we
on
getting
the
these customers with
weekends,
yellow water?
so the people on Bryant, they said it gets worse on the weekends. So Good Days, probably business picks up on the weekends. I don't know if they're disrupting their water and stirring it up because of their usage. I have no idea. We flush the crap out of the street and you really don't see any yellow water when we flush it. You know, you get the hydrant lead is dirty and you get a little dirt and then that's it. Nothing, there's no steady stream of yellow water anywhere, any place we flush in any of those instances.
Because you got a flow on Bryant Street coming both directions. It comes off South Main Street and
Yep.
it comes off South Street.
Right, but there's no hydrant down on the South Main Street end. So maybe when we get to warmer weather, we can ask Good Days if we can put a hydrant in on their property.
You think that's all it is, Wayne? Just needs a good flushing right there?
I mean, that's all. I can't do anything more. I know these people have been complaining since they started up about the time the high school was getting demolished and the new one was getting built. And they've chronically been complaining ever since. And once again, I don't doubt them in any way, shape, or form because they brought in samples, but it's nothing that our system is doing. There's nothing I can do other than what we do. When they see it, give us a call, we go out and flush. It's not, in no way are we ever ignoring any. The minute they call into us, we go out and flush.
What about Columbus Ave? Have we flushed that?
Yeah, but and once again, it's one instance, but we go out and we flush it. There's no point. We always go out and flush. The minute they call in, we do go out and flush.
On
we
both
don't really-
directions? Are we trying to flush it both directions?
Yep, and you walk it down the street past that resident, but we don't see when we turn on the hydrants. Truly, you get like the first minute of dirty water because if the hydrant leg gets dirty, and then it's clear. But we let it run.
Well, you may
for a
not
good-
see it. When somebody puts it in a white sink or a white bathtub or a white toilet bowl, it probably
No,
shows up way better.
Yeah, that issue's gone. But we now check in against the white background. It's not hundreds of people. There are about 8 residents.
Well, not everybody complains too, I mean, if one's getting it, somebody else has got to be getting it, I would think.
We've never heard it's single instances in each point.
Is it
And
their
I'm pretty vigilant about checking my emails because the calls, they go right to my, the voicemail. If they go to voicemail, they go right to my email. And I'm very, very vigilant about checking my email, 7, 8 o'clock at night, weekends, holidays. And then I go on, the West Bridgewater Hub on Facebook and I respond right away and I try and handle it the best I can. So it's not like they're going like days where it's yellow either, because I'm pretty vigilant about that.
I don't know why we're getting it. It sounds.
Wait, I
Mm.
noticed the other day when I was getting in the shower, I could smell chlorine really high. Have you increased the chlorine?
Yeah, because on our last round of sampling, we had no chlorine residual at the tank, my house, and John Cruz's house, which means that we were going to fail. So we couldn't pull our samples until we saw a residual. It's
Okay,
as
so
part.
do you think we're at that point where you got the chlorine up there, we're oxidizing out the iron in some of these areas? So you're
It
just
should,
taking
so
out time, maybe they're seeing it.
it shouldn't, it's not up that high. It's just up high enough to get, it's not coming out bulk. But yeah, I did smell it the other day at my house when I, turned on. I couldn't taste it when I drank the water, but when you turn on the sink, it aerates out and you can.
Yeah, that's all. I didn't taste it. I could smell it when I turned on the faucet, the hot water.
Right. No, I taste it just to make sure. When I smell it, I make sure I taste the water because I don't want to drink pool water either. And it's not up that high. Trust me, we run right around 0.5, 0.3 to 0.5. 0.5 in the summertime because it gets eaten up by the hot, warmer water, but usually 0.3 during the winter time.
They say sometimes the lower levels you smell it more, and then when you hit a break point,
Right.
and it would go higher, it disappears, and I don't know why that is, but that's what the engineers have told me.
Yeah, that's part of the break point, but I don't want as I try to get to that break point, we'd have everybody screaming at us then.
Oh yeah, no, we don't want to go there. No, I'm just saying. I'm just wondering if it's just high enough so we're smelling it, and then you're oxidizing out the
C5
iron.
is supposed to molecularly bind it up so it can't do that.
Are we too high? Would our C5 release some of the iron in the mains?
Oh no, that has a whole different effect when you have a lot of C5.
Or not enough C5?
No, there's probably enough. I actually bought the test kit. We just haven't had time yet. We haven't slowed down. I wish we could, but we haven't slowed down enough. And then we'll start testing our C5 residual in the system, or the orthophosphate that's in the system. But anytime that I've had it tested, it tests out high. The right amount is there.
So the C5 does what? It keeps the iron from collecting on the mains, correct?
Yep, it molecularly grabs it and keeps it in solution, so it can't turn yellow. It can't do anything except pass straight out of the system through everybody's faucets.
Will that create yellow water the way it's carrying the iron? Shouldn't?
Nope, it'll stop. It stops it.
In the long run, it stops it. I didn't know if the short term.
Yeah, no, it stops it. You could take cloudy water and put a little bit of it in, and it'll make it go clear. But if you heat it up, it'll come back. If you heat it up, or if you add too much chlorine, if you add chlorine, all of a sudden it comes back. So you got to find that happy medium. The other thing is they started adding the C5 way back in the 40s or 50s, I guess it was. And they used to have to pig out the pipes, and the pipes used to build up with iron, and they ended up with a 4-inch pipe with about a 2-inch hole. So when they started using the C5, it cleans the pipe too. It actually fluffs off the iron and puts it into the water, and then when you turn on the hydrants, you get rid of it. And so every time they flush the hydrants, they would lose like a 1/4 of an inch of the iron inside the pipes. That's how we ended up with our pipes really clean from being really plugged up from using the C5. But used to work. Anybody got anything else on that subject?
It's not.
So the next meeting's when, Kerry?
February 1st is the first Monday of the month.
February 1st is, yep. So everybody got that? Everybody okay with that?
Anybody want to come in and sign warrants around 9 tomorrow?
I
9:30?
can't be there at 9. I can be there closer to noon time, Kerry,
Perfect, that's fine.
or
I just
11
need
o'clock
to-
maybe.
I'm working in Danvers all day tomorrow, so I might be able to on the way back if you're still there. But I'll
Tomorrow's
be out
Wednesday,
of
I'll be
work.
there till 6.
Yeah, but when I get back into town, I'll come by.
Okay,
We said February 1st for the meeting.
yes.
I'll be there in the morning, Curry.
All right, thank you.
I have one last thing. I have, the guy who owns EOMS up on Manley Street. He
Oh,
built
yeah.
some sort of recycling plant over on Oak Hill Way in Brockton. And he's been calling, asking to buy some of our property over there, which I've told him that it was bought to protect the wells. And I've told him for the most part that you won't sell it, but then he's asking if I have the last say in that. And I don't. You guys have that last say. I can just tell you that when he built the plant, I remember there was an issue with one of his storm drains being in our thing, and he had to do something different so that it wasn't. So he started out trying to buy the property. Then he switched over to he'd like walking trails or maybe a farm. But I have the feeling he needs more property for whatever he's trying to do over there. And I'm not in favor of anything happening over there because we have issues with the quads, and I know that they're over in that area too. And we
That's
have
all
enough
in
issues.
That's all in our aquifer protection zone.
Right.
We can't let that out. That's already been registered with the state and everything. We can't sell that.
I can tell you that the guy will talk forever, ever, 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 and then some.
Okay, well, just tell them no.
All right.
We can't. There's no way. That's already in our zone too, and we bought up everything that we could to protect the land. The only thing we didn't buy was we stopped at the Brockton line.
Right.
So, and then when what's his name, the contractor there, he
Kelleher.
owned it, and he
Jerry
cut
Kelleher?
down. Huh?
Jerry Kelleher?
No, he sold it to what's his name up on Turnpike Street. Who was the contractor up there when our business?
Oh, Stevie Andel Ball?
Stephen Andel.
Yeah, Stephen Andrew Paul. He bought it, and he cut down the trees on our property. He was in there. We caught him. He was actually on our property, and he removed a bunch of gravel in there too. So we threw him out of there. You should take a ride over there, Wayne, and make sure that because we never go over there. It's on the other side of the river, and you got to go in from Brockton.
Yeah.
And you just go over there and familiarize yourself with. We had a surveyor go in there and put bounds in.
Yeah.
And line yourself up and see that somebody isn't doing something over there. You know what I mean? That they shouldn't be.
All right.
Because that's how I found that they were. And we threw them out of there because no, we own that. No, you don't. Then we had to get. What did we get? And we got somebody over there. We got a surveyor over there, and we found out no, it was definitely on. They were on our property. No.
All right.
Because you probably haven't been over there, have you?
No, I've never, because it was always gated off, but I think he's done something in there now, so it might be open.
Yeah. See, I used to walk around the gates and just walk in there because we own the back side of it, but you'd have to swim the river to get to our property. We own a lot of land over there, you know.
Yeah.
And it's high too. It's all gravel and sand, and it's way up in elevation. So, yeah, you should take a mosey over there and see what's going on.
All right.
All right. Anybody got anything else?
I got something, last meeting, Wayne brought up the GIS person contract
Oh yeah.
status, that there was a change. I did talk to Gagne about that, and he looked the stuff up. That position was never a contract. It was started out as a non-union, non-contract position. set up for a year. And he said all they're doing, it's staying the same. They're not making any changes to what it actually is. He said if we wanted it to be a contract position, we couldn't do it tonight, but we could put it on as an agenda. We could vote that we wanted it to be made a contract position, then it'd go to the selectmen and they'd have to vote the same. But I can send the thing, he just emailed this to me a little while ago finally. He sent me the offer and the acceptance letter that they did. And all it says, gives the hours, stuff like that, says that the immediate supervisor's Chris, gives vacation, 6-month performance, but starts right out as non-union, non-contractual position, and it didn't have anything like after that. So as far as he knows, it just continues like that until mutually people decide to have it otherwise. So there is no change. It just goes on the way it is for the foreseeable future. And
does she get any kind of raise when other people get raises or anything? How does that work?
It doesn't say in the thing, other than it said 6 months. She had, I think, a $2,500 raise upon a satisfactory performance review, which she got. And then it doesn't say beyond that. He said what the intent would be, like all the department heads, whatever they got, she'd get. That's how they'd handle people that are on a non-contract employment. But it doesn't say it in writing anywhere, though.
Years ago, we had a lot of people that had, didn't have contract. Well, when I was working there for a long time, I didn't have a contract. I was a superintendent, but I never had a contract. Then all of a sudden, the selectmen and the town council decided, oh man, we got so many people working without contract. You got to all have contracts. So they said everybody's got to sign a contract. So they got rid of all the contracted persons. If you weren't in a union, you had to have a contract. I wonder why they went back to no contracts, because they cleaned all that up because the town was worried about, I don't know, they had all these people working without contracts. They wanted to, legally, they needed contracts with people. I don't understand what all of a sudden they went back.
Well, talking to David, it did sound like the town is trying to back out of doing a lot of them on the contracts, because I guess the state only has specific positions that are supposed to be a contract by law. So a lot of them are, it doesn't mean you can't, but it's not really required by the state. You could do it as an employee at will. And it sounds like they're trying to figure out, do they want to go more to getting rid of the contracts that aren't required and put more people just like on this type of an agreement. But it didn't sound like anything's settled either. I think it's the selectmen are starting to kick around ideas. So, but that's kind of all that was there. In the meantime, the people that are under contract, we got the contract with Wayne, stuff like that. We're free to do contracts, whether other departments couldn't put, if they put other department heads not on contract, it doesn't mean we would go either way. We'd be doing those on our own. But this one falls under the selectmen, not under us, because they pay us, they're what, 70%, we're 30 or something like that.
Yeah. Hey, Wayne, I noticed down by Donnie Azak's,
Yeah.
The hydrants you replaced and the guys painted.
Yeah.
The caps over there are red. That's an 8-inch AC main all the way up. The old hydrants have orange caps on them. The new ones have red ones. So I went on my computer and I looked to see, if you click on a hydrant with the ID, do you come up with the color of the hydrant? All the data on the hydrants?
Not unless it's the pictures there, and she's reattached the pictures. I just haven't gone back in to look at them. I mean, as we replace the hydrants, yeah, the hydrant comes painted all red.
No,
That's
no.
why the caps are red. It's not,
Oh, you didn't paint them red.
no,
They
the
haven't been
hydrant,
painted yet.
yeah, no, it comes, because Mueller changed their formulation for the paint, so it lasts. Like if you look, some of the hydrants that were new, it peeled all off, it wore out, but they changed their formulation, so we try not to touch anything except the bonnet and the caps. But yeah, when we replaced the hydrants, they just didn't go back and paint the caps.
Oh, okay, so because I noticed that they were painted, but they had red caps, and I was like, I know those can't be red because those are 4-inch mains, and
Right.
all right, but and I checked my computer, and every hydrant in town, all the data was in there. Open left, open right.
Yeah.
There's a couple hydrants that open the opposite direction in town. One's right on Sears Street,
Yeah.
and all the data about the year it was installed or replaced and everything, all that is there. And I didn't know if you lost your information.
I'll have to look, but she moved in the beginning to set up the database. She tried a few things, so the links got broken a few times, but they're all back again. She didn't lose anything. It just the link was broken. It just
Okay.
had to be reattached.
All right, yeah, because I have a copy of it. If you need it, I have
All right,
a copy. And then somebody just got to update it. As you replace a lot of hydrants, and
Yeah.
you got to go through and just.
Yeah, she has the iPad set up, so when we have a few moments, they can go out and take new pictures and re-enter the data.
Okay. All right. Well, I have an old copy of it. If you're stuck and you lose it,
All right.
you know, that's just an attachment.
Yep.
Data. All right. Anybody else got anything?
Annie Natelli asked me to remind Rick and Tom that she sent you out those campaign finance reports, and you need to get them back by tomorrow. It's that one-page thing that even if you just sign that you didn't spend anything.
I don't remember getting it.
She said it would have come in the mail because I called her to make sure which one I had to put in, and when I did, she said, "Oh, remind Tom and Rick that they owe me one too."
Yeah, she sent me
Jeez,
mine and I turned it in today. Mine's
Okay.
I usually get it filled out when I see it. I don't remember seeing it in the mail.
it came in the email.
I'll get that done.
Okay.
Yeah, that's tomorrow, Thomas.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, it's due on the 20th. So.
Yeah, I turned mine in today. Made sure she had it. Anybody got anything else? Okay,
No.
here, motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Good night, everybody.